The Krellick station hummed with the sounds of 1,000 species conducting their business. Noah stood at the edge of the trading floor, his human frame dwarfed by the towering forms of the Vraxian merchants and the serpentine zealots that slithered between stalls. He was 19 standard years old, fresh off the transport from Earth, and every alien eye that passed over him carried the same dismissive glint. "Another soft skin," hissed a zealot trader, its forked tongue tasting the air. "They send children now to negotiate?" Noah kept his expression neutral, though his jaw tightened. He'd heard it all during his 3 weeks in the Outer Rim. Humans were weak, fragile, barely worth the oxygen they consumed. The galaxy had opened its doors to Earth only 5 years ago, and humanity was still proving itself among species that had conquered the stars for millennia. "Ignore them," came a voice through his comm implant. It was Layla, his partner and mentor, watching from their ship docked 2 levels above. "You're there to meet the Korth delegation. Stay focused. The Korth." Noah had read everything available about them. Apex predators from a death world that made Earth look like a resort planet. They stood 8 feet tall, covered in midnight black scales that could deflect plasma fire, with eyes that saw in 12 different spectrums and claws that could tear through starship hull plating. They were the galaxy's most feared hunters, and they'd requested specifically to meet with human representatives. No one knew why. Noah made his way through the crowd, enduring shoves and sneers. A hulking Vraxian deliberately stepped into his path, forcing him to stumble back. "Watch where you're going, Terran," the creature rumbled, its 4 eyes glittering with amusement. "Wouldn't want you to break. I hear your bones are as fragile as glass." Laughter erupted from the nearby aliens. Noah's hands clenched into fists, but he stepped around the Vraxian without responding. He'd learned quickly that rising to every challenge would get him killed out here. "Good," Layla's voice came again. "You're learning. The Korth representative is waiting in conference room Theta 7. His name is Vexthor. He's significant among their people." Noah found the conference room and pressed his palm against the entry scanner. The door hissed open, revealing a chamber dimmed to near darkness. His eyes took a moment to adjust, and then he saw him. Vexthor stood in the center of the room, a mountain of muscle and scale. His eyes, all 6 of them, fixed on Noah with an intensity that made the young man's instincts scream to run. The Korth wore minimal armor, just enough to display the scars that crisscrossed his chest and arms. Each scar Noah knew from his research represented a worthy kill. "You are the Terran." Vexthor's voice was like grinding stone. "I am Noah Chen, representing the Terran Colonial Authority." He kept his voice steady, refusing to show fear. The Korth circled him slowly, studying him from every angle. Noah could feel the predator's gaze analyzing every weakness, every vulnerable spot. The silence stretched for what felt like an eternity. "They mock you," Vexthor finally said. It wasn't a question. "Yes. Why do you not challenge them? Why do you not prove your strength?" Noah met the alien's eyes, all 6 of them. "Because I have nothing to prove to them. I know what humans are capable of." Something flickered in Vexthor's expression, surprise perhaps, or approval. The Korth moved to a viewport overlooking the station, his massive frame silhouetted against the stars. 3 months ago," Vexthor began, "I was hunting in the void reaches. A ship had crashed on Zeral 9, a death world Category 6. My clan went to investigate to claim salvage and honor any worthy dead." He paused, his claws scraping against the transparasteel. "We found a Terran ship. We expected to find corpses." Noah's breath caught. He knew this story. The entire human fleet had mourned it. Instead, we found survivors, 5 of them, including a female named Layla. Through his comm, Noah heard Layla's sharp intake of breath. For 47 days, they had survived on Zeral 9, a world where my people send our young to prove themselves, where most die within a week. Vexthor turned back to Noah, and now there was something new in his eyes, respect. They had built shelter from wreckage. They had hunted the predators that should have hunted them. They had learned to read the toxic weather patterns and use them to their advantage. When we arrived, they did not beg for rescue. The female, Layla, stood between her crew and my hunters, armed with nothing but a sharpened piece of metal, and told us we could not have them. Vexthor's mandibles spread in what might have been a smile. She challenged me. A creature barely reaching my chest, exhausted and wounded, challenged the greatest hunter of my clan. Noah felt a surge of pride for his partner. I accepted, of course. It would have been dishonorable not to. Vexthor approached Noah until they stood face to face. She lasted 18 seconds before I disarmed her. Do you know how long most species last against me, young Terran? How long? 3 seconds. The best warriors in the galaxy last 5. The Korth placed a massive clawed hand on Noah's shoulder, gently, carefully. Your Layla lasted 18, fighting with injuries that should have killed her days before, on a world that considers mercy a weakness. Vexthor's voice dropped to something almost reverent. When I asked her why she fought when she knew she would lose, she said, "Because my crew doesn't give up. Because humans don't quit." Then she collapsed. We carried her and her crew to our ship, treated their wounds with our best medicine, and brought them home. The Korth stepped back, then did something that made Noah's eyes widen. He placed his right fist over his heart and bowed, a gesture of respect reserved for Korth warriors of the highest honor. The galaxy mocks you because you are young, because you are new, because you have not yet shown them what we have seen. But the Korth do not forget, and we do not ignore what we have witnessed. Vexthor's eyes blazed. You come from a world that taught you to survive against odds that would break most species. You have a spirit that refuses to surrender even when all seems lost. These are the marks of true hunters, true warriors. He extended his hand. A human gesture, Noah realized with shock. That is why I requested to meet with you, young Terran. Not to negotiate trade routes or mining rights, but to tell you this: you are not weak. You are not fragile. You are what your species claims to be. Survivors, fighters, beings who face the darkness and refuse to yield. Vexthor's mandibles spread wider. My clan has declared humanity our brothers. We will hunt beside you. We will stand with you. And any who mock you mock the Korth themselves. Noah took the offered hand, feeling the incredible strength held carefully in check. Thank you, Vexthor. That means everything. Through his comm, he heard Layla's voice, thick with emotion. Tell him the Terrans are honored to call the Korth our brothers. As Noah left the conference room, the trading floor had gone silent. Word spread fast on Kralik Station, and everyone had heard about the meeting. The same aliens who had mocked him now parted before him, their expressions ranging from shock to newfound respect. The Vraxian who had blocked his path earlier actually stepped aside. Lowering his eyes, Noah walked through them all with his head high, knowing that everything had changed. Humanity was no longer alone in the galaxy. They had found their tribe, their brothers in arms, in the most unlikely of places, and the stars would never look at Earth the same way again.